Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, boys and girls. How we doing? How we doing? Are we hyped? Are we ready? Are you prepared? Oh, boy. I am not any of the above. I am not any of the above. That said, I have no idea what we're doing today. I have no idea what to do. For the last 48 hours, I've just been like, can we not just play the game yet? Come on, Blizz. Let me just play the game. It's weird because I've played it for 100, 200, 300, 400 hours already on the beta. Do the house? Oh, we ain't messing about with that. I actually need to, it's quite dark in here. I get some more illumination on the go. Apparently not, because my buttons don't work. Alright, fine. It is what it is. I haven't really got a plan, to be honest, of what I'm doing. I've spent the last couple of weeks, like, writing guides and putting videos together and, like, planning all sorts of shit, but I've not put a plan in action for myself. I genuinely have no idea. Do a cooking stream? Unironically, I might just finish a few War Within things today. I mean, we could go out fishing, to be honest. We could go get some fishing done. I'm 91 fishing. With 91 fishing, we should probably do better than that. I planned to make a plan, but never did it. Yeah, that sounds very familiar. Planned to plan, but never actually planned. Transferred my druid over to the beta. But a stiff realization I need some gear. Couldn't even kill a world mob. What item level are you running about at? You want to be at least item level 121. At least item level 121. You can, oh, actually, I need to see what do the remix tunes spit out at? Was 60, now 120. Yeah, the pre-patch event. You can just absolutely nuclear delete the pre-patch event. And within an hour you'll have 120 item level. Enjoy the new content, then decide what to do. Yeah, I've said from the word go that I'm going to take Midnight's launch a lot more chill, I think, this time round. The last couple of expansions, I mean, let's think about what we had. We had Shadowlands. Shadowlands, this is going to be my 4th expansion launch, like, publicly. 4th launch public is 4th, 5th. Shadowlands was the first. Shadowlands, Dragonflight, The War Within, Midnight. Yeah, 4th public launch. There is part of me that's really tempted to just take it chill. I absolutely cooked myself at the beginning of the War Within launch, and I don't really want to do that again. The shuffle was something that was so required to do, and I put so much time and effort into figuring out how to do it all properly, and I spent so much gold and made a bunch of gold, but boy oh boy, I had to sell about 50 million gold worth of stuff in Season 1 to, like, make it worthwhile. I think cleaning bags, maybe a touch of fishing, just getting a few bits and pieces done, you know. Emptying bags is probably a very wise move, isn't it? Taking this launch so chill that I haven't even bothered watching your YouTube, let alone reading the guide. Yeah, I mean, I will, I will, suggest anybody and everybody, at the very least, jump into the Discord and have a read through the mini guides, even if you're not Gold Goblin status and haven't picked up a copy of the Goblin Guide to Midnight. Still highly recommend, at the very least, have a look at the basic guides in Discord. The other problem I've got is I bought a bunch of snacks for the launch, and I'm already eating them. These are meant to be my tomorrow snacks. But yeah, about 14 hours from now, it goes live. 14 hours from now. In 14 hours' time, you'll be playing Midnight. Bought some Pringles, already opened them. Great minds. Great minds. These are like some weird fiery paprika ones, though. These are, these were not what I expected. They're more just hot for the sake of being hot, not very paprika-y. If paprika-y is a word. Is now midday nap to catch launch time. Yeah, I've decided I'm just going to go to bed early. I'll go to bed at like 10 o'clock or something. And then we'll get up nice and early. Pringles and a bunch of monsters. I got a couple of monsters in the fridge. Got a couple of mangoes in the fridge. Made sure that was a thing. What we got here then? Don't know what you are. Go away. I added that to my collection. You already have this in your collection. Yes, apparently so. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Emergency repair kits. Get rid of you. Polymorphic translation Nerubian. I don't know what you are. See you later. Quick hands vials. Is anybody stocked up on quick hands vials?
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
Is anybody stocked up on quick hands vials? Oh, there's plenty of them. Plenty of them. Just in case. What you're going to main at the start of the expansion for gold making? I wish I knew. I actually genuinely wish I knew. I'm going to, I'm probably not going to be doing anything like too process heavy. I don't think. I'm going to find it very hard to not do a bit of prospecting. Because prospecting has never failed me yet. The difficulty with prospecting, though, is that nobody needs gems particularly. It's only taking advantage of people leveling up their jewel crafting, really. That said, jewel crafting is looking pretty spicy from a concentration ore perspective. How are people doing their what are people plans for their alt armies? Since if you are going to try and extract value out of concentration, you need to do it like in the first month. I mean, this is something I could do. Quick hands in the tooltip says it increases craft speed for Dragonar's recipes. Yeah, I know. Ignore the tooltip. It works. And if it doesn't, well, who cares? Exquisitely eviscerated muscle with a movement speed buff. Oh, is that for... Does that just give you a flat movement speed buff, does it? Getting 15 speed for an hour? What, for like maximum leveling zoom? That's quite clever. Gliders? People... gliders a thing still? Probably not. Yeah, I think a bit of prospecting is going to be hard to not do. Yeah, a bit of prospecting. Oh, new follower goal done. 7,300 followers. Gee whiz. It's a big number. That's a big number. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you for the follows. Holy, Chalida with a 95 stream streak. Woof. That is good effort. You're, like I said, I joke about this every time, but you're here more than I am. Damn. Don't dare dip my toes into an alt army. We'll be gathering on the druid for the first month or so, and then maybe look into more decor crafting. That's certainly a lot of gold pre-release. Yeah, I'm going to find it very hard to not keep up with decor. Hey, I'm lambs. Alma Lama. Alma. Where's the others? Hello? Oh, that's... Ugh. Hang on, why don't we just do this properly? Do this properly. Solo's in his bed, asleep. There's Nipsu. Hey, Solo boy. Hey. They're chilling. Went out on a nice long walk this morning. These trio. These are ready for the expansion launch. He's like a fox. Solo is like a fox, yeah. Fox coyote. That's good shameless promo opportunity, that is. Yeah, 20% off Zygor. If you're ever gonna use Zygor, now's the time to use it, by the way. When we're all running off leveling. I found out yesterday Zygor is fully ready for midnight launch, so that's cool. You want to spec into disenchanting? What would be the best secondary? Tailoring? It's hard to know at the moment. It's hard to know because we don't know what the general value of materials are going to be. It boils down to whichever is the profession that makes the disenchantable gear the cheapest, but that can change. Tailoring is obviously a good option because you've got things like the cloth bracers, which are usually pretty cheap, but it does require cloth to be cheap. Engineering is a bit of a sleeper that could actually be very good for producing some cheap stuff. And by sleeper, I mean it's, it kind of requires the recycling system. So it will actually need a third profession to provide something for engineering to recycle to then make something that then can be disenchanted. A bit of a chain of events, but when Halden's add-on guide comes out, who's going to buy Zygor? Oh, but Zygor's just super useful for loads of things. It's not just about... I mean, obviously that's its kind of main selling point, but Zygor's super useful for a bunch of things. I use it literally every day. On that note, what's the best secondary for inscription? Well, that probably is tailoring. If you're out, or should I say a tailoring cloth farm? If you're out farming cloth, then you might as well have inscription as well. My tailor has both of those. Did you see that profession enchants from the War Within are available on white profession tools in Midnight? Yeah, that sort of stuff always happens. The And I would imagine the enchants have probably...
Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
I would imagine any of the enchants that might be... Yeah, look. Look. All of a sudden these things have gone from 800 gold apiece to like 3,500 and there's none of them. Probably off the back of that one thread. You can put a Algari finesse enchant on like a basic mining pick, for example. Which is obviously useful, that is, until you get like some new greens or something. Do you think there will be any gold looking into fishing for the first week? I haven't tested fishing much on the beta, but yes, because fishing makes the lures for skinning, and skinning's probably going to be very good because skinning's got the 3 majestic materials, the 3 epic materials this time around. Even these, to be honest, 91 finesse. I still think that the play for herbing and mining is to spec into moats. That said, there is no denying that in the first few days, herbs and ore are needed en masse for everybody leveling. But once everybody gets past that initial leveling phase, I think actually speccing into moats becomes the play. Dragonflight Finesse Vial. Do we think that works? Do we think that works? Is the Dragonflight one given even more flipping juice than... What's it called? It's not going to be called Finesse, is it? I tell you what, if it's not midnight, I genuinely can't remember what anything is these days. Oh yeah, the Bountiful Seasons one doesn't work. Provides 1 finesse. 1 finesse, 1 resourcefulness. Lol. I wonder if they'll fix that. I doubt they will at this point. Charged Vial of... No, is that it? No, that's just the speed one. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, the Dragonflight one's bind on pickup, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. Yes, 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 you are right. Yeah, when you had to put flipping work orders in for them. What a scam that was. Radiant Echoes. Do I need these? I mean, ATT says I definitely need them, but... Do we put them in the bank? Are they going to be... Are you going to be able to use those? I don't even know. Regression Sprocket. Used to infuse your Heart of Anger to make it stronger. This is all random shit that just needs to go in the guild bank, isn't it? Or in the bank in general. Why is tailoring good for Inscription? Inscription drops more Darkmoon cards. And... Inscription can be spec'd to drop cloth. So for when you're out farming cloth, you will get more Darkmoon cards. Now, of course, this is all subject to Darkmoon cards actually having any value, which they, you know, got nuclearly blown up in value and were worth absolutely nothing within about 10 minutes in the War Within. So the same thing could happen again, but we don't know. It's at least a sensible assumption going into the expansion. I've still got some goblin gliders in my bags. Wonder where they're from. They're probably from last expansion launch. That can be deleted. I don't need that anymore. They can be deleted. That's plate warbound. I don't think I'm going to need any of that gear anymore, am I? The stupid thing that can go away. Delete all of this rubbish now. Sears circlet. Forgot about that one. Delete. Rune Band of the Kirin Tor. We need to keep that. Let's go away. Random ass trinket. Go away. Mastery Talidite. Delete. Greater Haste Talidite. Delete. Flipping hell is all of this doing in my bags. Pressure Relief Valve. I don't know what that is. Delete. What's the best enchants for all gather professions typically? I can't remember off the top of my head, but the simple rule is just go for finesse in the first few days. I can't really see gathering having much value for anything other than finesse. Perception seems to be pretty much dead on arrival for herbalism and mining. Simply because it doesn't work on moats. So the solution's actually pretty easy for herbing and mining. It's just finesse. Skinning, obviously, there is the exception there, that if you are doing the daily skinning, then yes, you want perception. As it should, in theory, increase your chance at getting the majestic hides, because they're not guaranteed. But I haven't tested that. All these bonus tools can probably go in the bank now, can't they? Look at all this flipping artisan's metal I've still got lying around. Even I put stuff in my bank and then plan one day to clean the bank out and then never actually do. And so basically anything that goes in the bank just rots and stays there, but... yeah, I think these can all go in the bank now. They're not going to give me any benefit or crafting stats at all, I don't think, when we go into midnight. I'll keep them in my bags for now, just in case. Dragon Isle's cooking hat. No, we'll put that away. Random ass pattern. No way that's worth 20k. Alright, we'll send that to a bank character to be sold. What are all of these? WOD recipe, flipping... I don't know what any of this is. I hate this part of the year. I hate this point where you have to just kind of like clean your bags. Genuinely hate it. I don't know what any of this is. Battered Iron Horde helmet. Go away. Got a bunch of WOD stuff in my bags for some reason. Already known. Counterfeit dealer's chip. Priceless. Okay, sure. Teleport you to the Intercontinental, only usable whilst inside the Liberation of Undermine. We ain't never using that, are we? How we doing, Mr. Goldson? Welcome in, by the way. Illidan told me I wasn't ready. Now I believe him. Yeah. Yeah. We are not prepared. Teleport to your allies at Shadow Point outside Manaforge. No. Dream Surge Coalescence. Glittering Phoenix Ember. Isn't this important for something? Isn't this part? Isn't this? I don't know. Put it in the bank. Reserved Holly. Christmas shit. Tokens of merit. No need for those. They'll delete themselves. Delete that. What are you? Coffer key shards. Radiant remnants in the bank. Check. Look how many check cards. 800 check cards. Oh god. Was it what? 40? 40 check cards to make a checklist? One day. One day. Globs of wax. Just delete those. The Mass Dragonal artifact. Go away. Anima matrices. Those in the bank for the next time I never go there. Right, okay. Getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. We need to figure out what all these quest things are. Figurine Dream Owl. Cataclysm Jewel Crafting. Does that also teach you the recipe? Sorry, this is the general maintenance section. No, I've got every recipe already. I don't know what that is. Go away. Target is unfriendly. Delete. Only stacked to 200. Shit. What are all these quests then? WOD. Go away. Classic leatherworking. Go away. Diabrew. Go away. Crystallized anima.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
Anima
Both,
vacuum. No. Sons with the Prime. Thank you very much. Welcome in. Yo, follow Anna Prime straight off the bat. Love that shit. Thank you. You've caught me at probably the most boring section of my stream ever, but, you know, shit's got to be done. Venari's package. No thanks. Definitely not a euphemism. What did we say we're doing with this lot? We said we're just deleting it now, didn't we? Just delete it. See you later. Sears Circlet doesn't want to be deleted. That's how we get it gone.
Not everything in the ocean.
Beautiful. Have some of that. Now we're cooking. That's how all bags need to look. That is delightful. That is absolutely delightful. Right. Oh, you know what the funny thing is, though? This isn't even the character I'm going to level first. Do you think crafting gathering tools or just gathering yourself is more profitable? I assume many people will want gathering tools the first few days, but it requires investment and small margins. Do both? I think it's most of the expansion. It's really good to look at things and try and say what is the most efficient use of my time.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
At the beginning of an expansion, though, just do stuff. I wouldn't worry too much about whether this is a better option or that's a better option. Do the thing that you think is fun. The advantage you have at the beginning of an expansion is that nearly everything is profitable. Everything is worth doing. We have the Ruby. Thank you very much for the Prime, by the way. I appreciate that. Once again, a follow and a sub straight off the bat. Thank you. We have the tendency to get a little bit sweaty with our goal making and the goblin side of stuff, with all of the min-maxing and theory crafting going on ahead of time. But
is that your wallet?
It's not super necessary. If you enjoy farming, do some farming. You got to remember, leveling up your professions is quite expensive in the first place. But the theory goes, if you can level them up nice and quickly, there's a longer opportunity for you to just craft things and sell things. Crafting is about spotting an opportunity, finding a gap in the market that's not being fully fulfilled already. Gathering, you get out of it what you put in. The more time and effort you put into it, the more you'll get out of it.
Sweet, sweet profit together.
Yo, you've kicked off a community train. Go on, choo choo, all aboard, boys and girls. Z Aramin with the subs as well. Thank you very much, boys and girls. Thank you, thank you. With blue tools being relatively easy to get, do you think the market for green tools on the auction house is going to be worse? Nah, not really. Not really. I'm quite sure they'll people will still buy the greens to then upgrade to blues, even if it's quite quick. The simple fact being is that you've got to find somebody to craft the blues for you, which in early access at least might not actually be quite as simple as it sounds. With such recent changes to the, late in development changes to the epic tools, that's going to really break people's plans. Like people who are going to spec into the profession tools, for example, probably were just going to gloss over the rare recipes and they would just pick up the epic ones. But now they kind of have to make a choice. Do they pick up the rare recipes at the cost of Moxie? At the cost of maybe not getting as many of the epic recipes? People have to decide what they want to do a little bit more now. Yeah, there's no Moxie needed for crafting it, but you need it. The crafters are going to need the Moxie to buy the recipes in the first place. Epic recipe cost increased to 200 Moxie? Did they really? Oh, that's cool. Have they done that for a lot of them? Have a look. Have a little looky look. Talk about 11th hour changes. Holy. Now, what's the difference between a community train and a hype train? How does this work? Did Twitch just change the name of hype trains to community trains? With a community train, everybody gets stuff even if they don't contribute. Oh, I see. Clever. I see. The tooltips still show 150, but the vendor wants 200. So it's like a top tier change then. Clearly not a band-aid fix. Top tier changes. Oh god, it's going to be so funny, isn't it? Just how much will just look and feel different when the game goes live because of these 11th hour changes all over the place. How did it work last early access? An account without midnight can still log in during the weekend, I imagine? Oh yeah, you just won't be able to do midnight stuff. You can do everything else though. Wondering the same yesterday on Elon's stream. The descriptions used hype. There's still even Twitch has tooltips to fix. Of course they do. It'd be you, wouldn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 200 a pop. Clearly another way to try and incentivize people to pick up the rare ones first. And then keep chipping away. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I think if you try and you're trying to go the route of profession tools and you need to buy a few recipes to do it, I'm quite sure you'll be able to buy like 2 recipes at least in the first week, even at 200 a piece. You notice how the tooltip for Moxie still says crafting midnight dawn crafting profession tools and accessories though. Can you imagine if we log into early access and they've just like slapped Moxie on the rare stuff, but then not put it on the epic stuff? Oh. Still bind on pickup. Still bind on pickup. People will lose their shit if that happens. It's impossible to keep up with everything at the moment. I can't keep on top of it, and this is literally my job. Is it time gated hard? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. 20 fused vitality. It costs 800 unalloyed abundance per vitality. So even if you're reasonably good at the abundance system and you can get pretty high scores for each of your runs, you're still looking at a couple of weeks to get just a single piece of epic. If you are literally dog shit at playing the game and you basically just AFK the event, you're looking at like nearly 7 weeks to get one single piece of epic gear. Is abundance weekly or bi-weekly? You can do it 8 times a week. You have to get 8, like, what they call shards of dun-dun. Token, like, tickets. So you'll, you only get a limited amount of goes. It's been completely broken the last couple of days, though. Can we spot any other sneaky 11th hour changes? They haven't like jacked up the value of any crafts or anything out of nowhere. It all still looks familiar. Diamonds, it's still a single diamond and a single prism. 2 roots. Five sources of the shards: skinning, herbing, mining, fishing, patron orders. Treasures is another one. You can get them via the treasures. If Zulaman is really good for farming treasures. There's loads of them all over the place. And if you're flying around here, you can get them that way. Probably the way I'll do it would be my guess. Would you consider crafting tools and equipment be a good start for early access in the first months? Yeah, there'll be money in that. Just the best way to think about any market is there somebody that wants it? And the answer at the beginning of an expansion is always yes. Like I said, the beginning of an expansion is wonderful because you basically can't go wrong. It doesn't matter what you do. The best thing to do is just be doing something. Whether that be flying around picking up herbs and selling them to other people, or getting your professions leveled up and then crafting stuff to sell. Like, as long as you pay some attention to what people might actually be wanting and don't just like, this is why professions like jewel crafting take a while to get going, because who wants gems in the first day of the expansion? Nobody wants gems. But when people start getting gear, then they want gems. So you have to try, some professions have an earlier start than others. Has anybody else found any like sneaky last minute changes? Should we go try the abundance system again today? See if it's still broken. See if they've hotfixed that. Where is it today? Over here. That said, I don't think I've got any shards of done on this character. Even try it properly. Well, we'll have to practice what we preach and go hit some treasures quickly. What was broken about the abundance system? Oh, well, basically everything, because it just didn't work. Yeah, I wish I could be more specific than that, but that's literally the case. Hello? Where's this treasure? Treasure in a... Okay, I don't know where that one is. Oh, it's these stupid moth things. These are going to be the bane of my life, these flipping moths. And that's an early access task, by the way. Most of you don't understand yet, but if you've been playing the beta and if you've been playing in this zone, you'll know the moths. I got tricked by seeing this today on Wowhead. Pretty sure this is just the token of merit thing. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, there's no jewel crafting socket item, unfortunately, this time around. Which is a shame. Yeah, I don't seem to be getting shards of Dun quite so easily out here. I wonder if they do only drop in Zulaman. Isn't gem cutting hard with settings no longer being a thing? Hit hard. Gem cutting in general has, yeah, been it's weaker than it is in the War Within, let's put it that way. Players don't need as many gems to begin with. The gems cost less materials to make them. And in most circumstances, not having a socketable item will greatly limit the amount of gems that will be in demand early season. But like I said, this is a level of analysis that doesn't really matter that much. That's not to say there won't be money in crafting and selling gems. Of course there will. We're just looking at it like relative to what we might have seen before. Like I said, you got to remember with gems as well, though, that the demand doesn't kick in for ages. Because nobody needs gems until they got new gear. Until they got sockets to put it in. Oh, that is. Don't actually seem to be getting shards of Dun from out here particularly. Maybe it is Zulaman we need to get them in. Well, let me go see if the abundance is even open today. Why is it saying rewards coffer keys? I was getting them herbing in Eversong. Yeah, for gatherers, considering it's actually... The irony is it's kind of meant to be a gathering system. It's meant to be predominantly focused towards gatherers. But it turns out it's actually going to be like proper crafters that are going to be end up doing this more so than anybody else. Because that's where their tools actually matter. Can we pick up anything today? No, still can't pick shit up. Still can't pick shit up. We're a matter of hours from it going live and it still doesn't work. One of the most important features for crafters. And it don't work. What's going to be fun tomorrow, actually, is doing a bit of this with, you know, put some groups together, see how advantageous it is to do this in a group. If you can, like, you know, basically split farm it, you can all run a different way. Just absolutely nuclear delete the entire thing. There could possibly be some value in doing this in, you know, as a group of 5. Just to maximize your score. Because that realistically is what players are going to need to do. More points equals more prizes. That is if it works. If it works. Will we be able to complete the intro quests for it? Yeah, of course. You do have to do a quick mini tutorial to this on characters that haven't done it before. I don't know why I'm even bothering doing this now, but... Oh, I fell through the floor. I didn't even see the hole. Whoops. Yeah, still 13 hours till launch. Loads of time. Loads of time. Oh, now falling through the floor. Now I've lost my pets, like, properly again. This place is going to be annoying for hunters, I can tell you. Which frustrates me greatly, because a lot of my characters are hunters. I also don't know what happens if you die in here. Yeah, so that still doesn't work. That's going to be fun. Quick sanity check on the vendor. Make sure they haven't changed anything else. You wouldn't think you'd have to do this, but the last 2 times I've checked this, they've changed some in. No, still 800 apiece. Increase midnight fishing by 100 up to a maximum of 300. Requires renown 14. Well, we'll just have to trust that it works tomorrow. Just have to trust it works. Do you think we'll be surprised with completely new skill trees, Moxie prices tomorrow? I mean, I'd flipping hope not. I'm at the, my perspective on this is like, isn't this why we have a beta? To figure all of this shit out, like, and make sure it all works and that it's all finished and finalized before it goes live, you know? It's cooking basically still vendor maps again. Spiced biscuits. Is this still 1 to 100 cooking? Press this button 1,000 times. Real beta starts tomorrow for 4 days. It's a cynical way of looking at it, but it's probably not too far from the truth. They changed cooking in the 11th hour in the War Within as well. I wouldn't be too surprised if this changes. We're making a bug bingo. Is the auction house being broken on there? The auction house will probably be alright. See, early access is fun because things tend to, even in the War Within, stuff worked in early access. It was only when the full game launched it all fell apart. When are these going to grey out? What are we saying, 35 or 40? Question regarding tailoring. If you decide to spec into Arcana Weave or Sunfire bolts, do you start with 10 charges or just 1? Throughout the beta, you started with 1. Early access is always fun. Go back to the previous town and mock all the broke boys. That's real gamer, that is. That's real gamer. God, how many flipping spiced biscuits am I going to have to make to get 35? There we go. And then you learn hearty food, which you then turn all of those spiced biscuits you've just made into hearty food. Excuse me. And this, in theory, takes us, what, like, to 100? Took me about 250 crafts of biscuits yesterday to max on a Pandarian. Oh, okay. I wonder how this will affect cooking in general, feasts in general. Like, because when you talk about barriers to entry to stuff, like, you couldn't get more dumb simple than this. There is almost no excuse for people to not have their cooking leveled up. Which in turn means, why would people not craft their own food anymore? One thing I would sort of highlight, though, which is always true, is that just because somebody can do something doesn't mean they actually do it. I've run out of spiced biscuits. Yeah, just because somebody can doesn't mean they do. This is why I want herbalism and mining to be available for everybody. I don't want herbalism and mining to be primary professions anymore. I've kind of had this idea for a few years now. Blizzard don't seem to agree, but much like this, for example, I don't see any reason why everybody shouldn't be able to pick up herbs and pick up ore. I don't think there's any risk of markets being flooded because everybody can. I just think it would be a nice quality of life for some people. I was wondering if we know which profession farming stuff won't be available in early access. I mean, Blizzard haven't come out and said, but the simple rule is anything that's weekly probably won't be available. This even makes me think that the Shards of Dundun and the Abundance thing might not be available in early access. Because it's a weekly event, technically. Your weekly quest for completing patron orders probably won't exist in early access. Patron orders themselves might not even exist in early access because they're all sort of tied to being a weekly system. A lot of that sort of stuff will open up on official launch. So it's an opportunity for you to level your professions. It's an opportunity for you to fly around and pick up your one-time treasures, get some first-time craft bonuses out the way, that sort of stuff in early access. Wouldn't work if it's well, as it currently stands, you're right, yeah. Even if it was available, it doesn't work. We bank with Harmonious Horticulture last expansion. Can you think of any other product that could be mass-produced to fill the market? Example, high-tier vials for potions, as you mentioned. I mean, literally any intermediate material from any profession, really. Everything crafting feasts revolves around the optional multi-crafter reagent. Maybe. Maybe. What's it called? Bizarre Bites. Bizarre Bites, savory anomalies, earthy garnishes. These are tradable though, are they not? I don't think these are bind on pickup. I think these are tradable. Aha, we unlocked Hearty Feasts. There we go. Where's me biscuits gone? Dawn crystals available early. I still think your enchanting crystals will come from Dark Moon decks. Even if Dark Moon decks are expensive, it's the only consistently reliable way to create crystals. And all enchants are using silly amounts of crystals. So there's going to be a strong need for them for sure. There's a news article that M0 will open with release. Release of the game or release of early access? I wonder, if spamming dungeons is going to be the optimal way to level again. I find it hard to believe they won't accidentally do the same thing again that they did in the War Within. There's a very strong chance that I just level a couple of characters over the next few days to 90, just so they're done. If there's, all of the mythic flipping Giga Chads are running around spamming dungeons all day long. Is this going to take us all the way to 100 still? We just have to craft more of them. Greetings from Sweden. Relatively hyped. I have a weird, less hyped, more just I want to do it now. A greater feeling of impatience than anything else. Greater level of impatience. The thing is that, I've been playing on the beta and the alpha for months now. And you can tinker on the beta, but you're always playing the game in a very different way. Like, I don't want to be doing flipping anything that is like a one-time thing. I tend to leave all of that until the game's actually live. But then there's also a lot of stuff that I would only ever actually do in beta and would never bother doing it when it's live. Because when the game is actually live, I've got better things to do. As odd as that sounds. So yeah, overall, I'm just feeling a touch impatient. I just want to play the damn game now. I think I'm doing the same first character via the campaign and see if I get a few more spamming dungeons. Yeah, I think it'll be if dungeon queues even for DPS get like sub 5 minutes, then it's worth just spamming dungeons for the most part. Get the campaign done once maybe. We'll see. But a weird fact about Finland today, I want to know if it's true. Apparently you guys have gambling machines in the supermarkets. Part of the profits go to the government to assist with gambling addiction. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's yeah, it's true. It's a bit of a, my perspective on that is it's a vicious circle. You know the easier thing to do would not to be to normalize gambling in the first place, but much like taxing cigarettes and alcohol, you know, somebody somewhere is profiting from it. But yeah, the video poker machines in the supermarkets, you've always got flipping grandma and granddad pumping their retirement fund into those things. It's kind of crazy. I see they changed Moxie cost. Anything else? Not that I've seen. 200 for the epic recipes. That's about it. First visited Australia, I was blown away that you can gamble in the pub. They have video poker machines, sports betting, whole room of slots, etc. Aussies are wild. I mean, in the UK, we have like what we call fruit machines in most of the pubs. I used to be able to go out on a night out and make a profit. I used to be able to go out, drink all night, and make a profit because of the fruit machines in some pubs. Because you could you knew roughly when they were gonna like pay out. If you saw somebody go put £20 in a fruit machine and it not pay out, and then somebody goes along and puts £10 in a fruit machine and it doesn't pay out, you know that machine sat on about £30. You can probably put in £3 and get like, 15 out of it. And I'd sit at the table. Me and my mates would sit at the table near the fruit machine in the pub, and we'd watch, Grandad come and put his retirement fund in the fruit machine. And then, every 2 hours, if I hadn't noticed it pay out recently, I'd go put a fiver in it, take 15 out of it. Literally, I profited on nights out. Get nicely drunk and make a profit off the fruit machine. Probably not sound financial advice, but I live near Big Army HQ and the soldiers put their whole salary into fruit machines. Then we go after them with a couple of coins, get their salaries out. Yeah, that's literally what I used to do. Yeah. How easy is it to get the relevant renown levels for recipes? Do we need to wait for the Dark Moon Fair buff to do the side quests? Just doing the campaign should be enough to get you sort of like renown 4, 5, maybe even 6. So you should be fine just doing the campaign. This is kind of the classic Finnish one. We call it fruit game, so technically the same. It's not something I'm going to be able to watch on stream because that kind of stuff will definitely get flipping striked, but 94, nearly there. So yeah, for reference, it is still entirely possible to level cooking to skill 100 with just vendor reagents. How long will the campaign take to finish and hit 90? Usually it takes most players about an hour per level. You can, of course, do it faster. There are people who will speed run it, but assume about an hour per level and you'll be fine. Keep in mind you need to be 87, 88 for the last zone. The void zone, yeah. Race to World first players I was chatting with on some other stream said they'll be getting max level in 4 hours. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there'll be people who'll do it very quickly. But you know, the advice I give is, you know, for the average player, not people who are like seasoned veterans in absolutely blasting. Generally, I live by the theory that if people are asking me how long the campaign's going to take, they're probably not the race to world first kind of players who have a solid plan in place already. So, you know, just do some of the side quests, enjoy it for reference. It's a new game after all. They'll be leveling 20 to 40 characters. Gingy leveled 18 characters to 80 in the first day last expansion, didn't he? For the War Within launch, I think he had 18 characters by the end of the first day. They are genuinely playing a different game to us. But he was multi-boxing the shit out of it at the same time, so. Boom. Midnight cooking. With nothing but vendor reagents. Well, that's gonna be a 20-minute job tomorrow. To do that. Unlock everything. Obviously, not super duper mega important, because same rules apply. Not really many people need cooking much before that. There's only one recipe that you don't learn from the trainer as well. Damn. I've not come across any of these whilst playing on the beta. Either they're like really rare, or I just haven't played the beta enough. TBC broke me. I leveled 7 characters in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, I wouldn't have been doing that 2 weeks before an expansion launch. I've taken to using the beta to watch all of the story, read the side quests, and take my time so that I can just rush it on release. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier, how you tend to play things differently on the beta to how the game is when it goes live. That you'll lots of things I'll do on the beta and on the test realms because I know that I'll never find time to do them properly when the game's actually live. They were dropping with a much higher rate early in the beta. Now you still have them, but they're very, very, very rare. Interesting. Purple tools will restrict people a little bit. Need a toon just for cooking. Yeah, get yourself a panda. Get yourself a panda. Snack of choice. Nuts. Nuts is obviously not if you're allergic to nuts, but nuts is the snack of choice. Good slow release energy. Okay, so cooking's still simple, straightforward. I need to look into a couple of characters quickly. Just confirm a couple of spec choices that I may or may not choose to do on some of my characters. Am I streaming tonight? No. No, I'm going to be going to bed early to get up a bit earlier tomorrow. I'm not breaking my entire schedule just for early access that could or could not be broken. Well, crafting alt still need to be 81. No, the only reason you needed to be 81 before was for the profession tools, but they've changed those down to 78 now. Same as what it takes to learn the profession, so. Your crafters will be fine to just like jump in and get going. Jewel crafting stuff. Where's the jewel crafting bag? Oh yeah, I forgot. This jewel crafting bag doesn't actually give you any gems. Thing's flipping useless. Where's my jewel crafting leveling guide? Where's my jewel crafting leveling guide? Goblin guide to leveling. There we go. Jewel crafting. You'd think I'd be able to remember all of this off the top of my head, but not yet. There's me shopping list. Beautiful. That's what I want. 60 of the cheapest ore. We got 60 of the cheapest ore. 10 crystalline glass. And crystalline glass. 2 pieces of stone. Two pieces of stone. 10 Harandar peridots. They're going to be on you, aren't they? 9 of those, because I'll already have some in my bags. 10 of those. 3 tenebrous amethysts. And 13 glimmering gem dust. Right, let's see if that still gets us leveled up like I expect it to. Prospect a bunch of shit till skill 13. How long until early access? About 12 hours-ish, roughly. Your Battle.net client has a countdown timer thing. Skill 13. A couple of vials. Where's the trainer? Couple of vials. Oh, missing jeweler's tools. Flipping hell. I hate these flipping things. Of all of the simplifications in the game, why didn't they get rid of these stupid things? Right. Couple of vials. Would get me to 15. Five deadly paradox. Five versatile paradox. Oh. Where's... Oh yeah, because I haven't learnt it, that's why. Takes us to 35. Three verse amethysts. Then a shitload of the chalice-y things. If we want to go any further than that. Craft a boatload of these if we want to get any further. Okay, well that still works. Craft all of these up until about 65. Reminder of the day, don't multi-box leveling on day one to avoid exploits and ban like the Pact in the War Within. Didn't K-Chat catch himself a 3-day ban because of that? 3-day forced holiday. $60, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do. More I'm being paid to play WoW than Monday, Tuesday. I'm suddenly feeling under the weather. Oh. I'm getting the flu. Right, making any of these at any reasonable quality is not a total walk in the park. So 30 and 40 is 70. Harvesting first time crafts, harvesting knowledge points. Where's the breakpoints on these? 300. They're the epic ones. They're the rare ones. 445. 445. So we're going to need... Give me the... Where's the little... Where's the Tauren book of free knowledge points? Just for some quick napkin maths. What are we doing during the wait? I'm just like double checking that certain builds still do what I expect them to do. And just sort of, you know, last minute things really. There's 10 points were sub-spec. The flat skill on them, yeah. 10 points in there. Give me a bunch of lenses. Give me a bunch of normal quality lenses. Just inscribe 2,000 inks into cards. Aces will be a pain in the ass. They're way too rare. Hopefully it won't have a high drop chance either. Otherwise the epic crafting is dead on arrival. Yeah, I think it's it all balances on just how easy they are to, well, you know, if there's a heavy supply from non-crafted means, the fact that they drop in the wild makes me think that there's not going to be really any value, particularly not in the, you know, short term. The fact that you have to craft them with quality 2 inks is going to require... The thing is with Inscription, you can start producing quality 2 inks using mostly quality 1 herbs once you've got like properly set up, but it just depends how much of a process that is. And it all seems relatively risky to me, knowing full well that the cards drop quite heavily in the wild. Missing 80 points. Will you be playing NA early launch or EU? Oh, I only play on EU. I have an NA account, but I never play it. I never play on Team NA. $20, $35. $170. $240 to guarantee quality 4. Damn. Can you get crafting alts to Silver Moon ASAP, or do you need to do the intro on every one of them? To my understanding, once you've done the intro, the portal opens up in the main portal room, and you can just freely have access to Silver Moon. Is the theory. What's 170 plus 80? My brain don't work today. 240. Okay. Even 10 points short. So 70 skill, awesome profession tools and accessories. Who makes the other jewel crafting stuff? I can't remember. Engineering. Yeah, that's the one. Go on, get to 65. Oh, should go great at 65, I think. Somebody's been out of the scene for a long time. Is the gold standard for add-ons as a concentration still some combination of craft sim and no mats, no make? It should be, yeah. There's no reason to believe either of those add-ons won't continue to be powerhouses. To be fair, for concentration crafting, you don't really need any add-ons, and in fact, the less add-ons you can have running, the better. Or increased load times. Because once it's set up, you should know literally exactly what buttons you're pressing the second you log in. God, if I have to burn through this much glass to get to 65 skill points, I'm going to cry. There we go. 65 skill points. 65 skill points plus a single green tool, which we could get the other ones easily, is enough to start producing the tools for others at quality 5. It's a 50-point build. Craft Sim's already working in Midnight, but the Mats is way off so far. You'll need a spreadsheet. I think the way Craft Sim is programmed, it's based off, you know, live batches of crafts, I think. Getting high quality lenses isn't going to be fun though. Getting high quality lenses is going to be a real pain. Getting, believe it or not, I think in the first few days, a bit of concentration on, being thrown at flipping even green profession tools and accessories isn't a bad idea. since the intermediates won't be that readily available at high quality either. Might be better to sell the rank 3 tools and accessories. The people who pay the premium, though, pay the premium for, like, you'll find quality 5 green profession tools selling for like 30, 40k on some servers, which is the only reason I'm looking into this now, really. That's just to try and gauge what the landscape might be. Do you think gatherers should invest into making their own tools? I tend to think that nobody should invest into making their own tools. The only people who should make their own tools, really, are people who have alt armies and need that tool crafted 100 times. If you just need one thing crafted, then just pay somebody to do it. Spend the time that you would take leveling up that other profession to make your own tool, and spend it just farming. And then the gold you make from farming, pay somebody to make your tool for you, and you're done. Very, very few people should bother actually making their own tools. It just doesn't make sense. Are there profession trainers in Silvermoon? Yes. Yes. Yeah, if you've got, if you've got 20 copies of the same profession for concentration, then yes, maybe make your own tools. Otherwise, it's not worth the time or the gold to bother setting it up yourself. You'll probably spend way more, way more leveling that profession than you would pay somebody as a tip to make it for you anyway. The only variable in that, though, really, is if there's somebody on your realm that can make that thing that you need. Sometimes you get put in a sticky situation where you just can't find somebody to make the thing for you. Now, fortunately, if you play in the EU, you can always join no refunds, hop in the guild. That's there'll be plenty of people doing a whole bunch of everything in the guild. You want to go from a Panda Monk Alliance to Blood Elf Monk? Do you have to swap the faction and the race, or just the race? A race change will include a faction change, if it's applicable, yeah. You don't have to buy it twice. If I remember correctly. Well, unless it's changed since I last did it. That's just for cutting gems. You learn that for the reagent. And you don't technically need any points in here. Although resourcefulness would be nice. I mean, I haven't really decided exactly what I'm going to do with a lot of my professions. And I'm just considering trying to utilize something that sort of plays into my strengths. And even though I know that profession tools might not be the biggest thing, just because blues have a lower barrier to entry. I'm still tempted to craft a bunch of greens and spread them around a bit. But I would be doing this at the cost of doing prospecting. A faction change includes a race change. A race change does not include a faction change. Or is it the other way around? I knew one way. One of them gives you both of them. Probably the most expensive one is what gives you both of them, right? You could go gear. No. I absolutely don't want to find myself in a position where I'm doing work orders. As much as I kind of am going to have to do some work orders, I really don't want to. This is why I'm tempted on my jewel crafter to just go prospecting. Funnel, because what is it, like 90 points? 60 points in here. 30 points in here. 90 plus, what is it, like 95? Yeah. 95 points to do prospecting properly. I might just go jewel crafter. I might just go prospecting on my jewel crafter, because then my jewel crafter can have all the epic tools and accessories, which will aid prospecting. Of course, it's another 40 points if I want to do crushing on that same character as well. But that starts to get a little bit expensive quite quickly. This is why they nuked all of these down to 1 point, by the way, because prospecting was just way too expensive for something that is the key source to providing gems to the rest of the profession. I mean, when these were like 30 points apiece, there was 120 points just on these. It was making people choose to run 4 prospectors, which is a touch ludicrous. Do not forget you need another purple tool for multicraft versus resourcefulness. Oh, you mean with the crushing? Is crushing a multicraft? No. So prospecting can get away with just purely a resourcefulness tool. So are you planning on selling profession equipment greens or not? I really don't know. I really don't know. The whole of beta, I've been so focused on figuring out how the professions work and putting guides and stuff together that I didn't really actually put any thought into what I plan to do when the game goes live. Which is why I'm very tempted in early access not to really do a huge amount, just level a couple of tunes and see what the game presents. It's an interesting and fun way of doing things. I'm going to level my druid first. The only thing I do know for sure. I do know that I'll level my druid first. And that has herbing and mining. So we'll pick up some herbs, we'll pick up some ore, we'll chop some wood, we'll get the campaign done. That'll level him to 90. It means hopefully by day 2 I'll have a level 90 boomkin that can do some farming if farming presents itself as, you know, valuable. Or I can continue to herb and mine, or I can level other characters via dungeons. I can do what I please. On EU, how much gold is midnight token value? It's like 6 tokens, isn't it? Well, it's only 6 tokens if you want early access. Skinning, tailoring, boomy to 90 first. That also works. You obviously kill a lot of stuff whilst you're leveling. whilst you're doing the campaign. My druid is already set up. I've only got the one druid. Or the one druid that I care about, at least, anyway. Give me some leatherworking mats. How do we level leatherworking quickly and easily? 590 void tempered scales, 295 leather. What have we got in our bags? Leatherworking's going to be... It's going to be weird. It's going to both be expensive to start with and then probably end up really cheap eventually. You need humongous amounts of leather. What have we got in here? We've probably got enough of this already. Silver leaf thread we need. I don't think we've got any of that. Where's silver leaf thread? Right. Leveling path. Scout scaled braces. How many of these? 3? What would you focus on if you may end up with very little time? Just herbing and mining, because you get exactly out of it what you put in. If you're ever short on time, you should own like farming. Just pick up herblers and pick up mining, because if you spend 10 minutes herbing and mining, you make gold. If you spend 3 hours herbing and mining, you make more gold. There's no real... You never go backwards with farming, so if you're limited on time, you should absolutely do some sort of basic farming. Because anything crafting, you have to put a lot into it first, and that creates risk that if you put a lot into it, both time and gold to level it up, and then you don't use it all that much, then it's very possible that all of that gold just gets pissed up the wall. So if you're even remotely limited on time, I would stick to farming. I hate farming. Doesn't change the answer, unfortunately. Go 3 polished wraps after this. 3 polished wraps, 2 gauntlets. Two gauntlets, 3 apprentice smith's aprons. Four scouts' shoulders. And then 3 skull caps. And that gets us up to 60. Okay, that's 3 sub-specs unlocked if we need them. How does that put us... How does that do us from here? Guaranteeing 3, only guaranteeing 3, even with high quality mats. How easy is it to get 25 tailoring to unlock the cloth drops? Tailoring. Very easy. Very easy. You craft a bunch of bright linen bolts, then you craft a bunch of cloaks. Job done. Very easy. How you doing, Ginny? Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Can we do anything constructive at 60 skill points in terms of these bits and bobs? Let's say that we have some early profession. What skill do greens give you these days? 5, 5, and 8, is it? It's 18 skill points, isn't it, for the greens? Is it in flawless forts here? Yeah, it's a quick and easy spec, isn't it? It's a quick and easy one, but it's then getting the recipes that becomes a pain. 10 points here. Oh, I haven't got the flipping knowledge point book thing. Assume we go off and farm some treasures and do some first time crafts and whatever. You get 10 points in there. This is your profession gear. 1 skill per point. Is there any big spicy nodes? 10. $30 points short. We get 18 up here. $30 points, which is your knowledge treasures. Knowledge treasures plus a few first time crafts. Plus a set of green tools and accessories up here is enough to guarantee the basic stuff, assuming you use all high quality mats. Mostly. Yeah, it will be because there's 18 points up here. But let's say you harvest a few more first time crafts. And let's say you fill this node. You should then also be able to start seeing guaranteed whilst dropping some of these materials back down to normal quality. So you can optimize your cost of these quite quickly. Does alchemy have double duration on flasks? I think so. I'm pretty sure it does. I must admit I didn't check that. What would you guess will be more profitable at the release? Cloth farming or skinning? Let me just look in my crystal ball. I've no idea. No idea. No idea. Skinning will probably skinning will be very heavily based on the profit in skinning will probably be the majestic beasts, which is a once a day chance, which is more focused towards your skinning alt army kind of stuff. That's where skinning will probably be valuable. Cloth farming will be more reliable though. It'll be a more consistent goal per hour farming cloth, either. Let's put it that way. Are we expecting a delve mat like Tinderbox? There's this thing. Where's it gone? Petrified root. This is a delve mat, and is used flipping everywhere. Literally everywhere. I hear people say it's not once per day. Yeah, and those people are wrong. You get 1 chance per day. You can summon the thing as many times as you like. But you only get 1 chance per day at the majestic material. Is the campaign enough to get to renown 4? Yeah, campaign should be able to, yeah. Yeah, if you just do the campaign, you should be about renown 4, 5, 6 with most of the factions. If not, a few of the side stories, you'll get it done easily. Well, that's going to be weirdly painful, actually. As soon as you start dropping those down to low quality, you lose 80 skill points. So you've got to make 60 back up from somewhere, which is full rares and 80 skill in the profession before you can craft these at top quality using only normal quality mats. That's painful. Or you put more points in here. Or you full rares plus 60 plus the extra 20 points in here. Crafters have much interest in renown beyond 5 or 6, apart from the Voidstorm guys. I don't think so, not really. It's pretty much all cosmetic from there, I think. I think second tier treasures pop up at some point. Yeah, second tier treasures. But I've not tested these on the beta to determine what they include. But if you do this nice and early, even if it's like just green BOEs, for example, you forget just how valuable green BOEs are at the beginning of the expansion, especially if they nerf the viability of 2x4 farming. Your like tier 1 treasures usually don't contain much of anything, but it's the tier 2 treasures, which if you can unlock those quite quickly, can be good value in those for the first few days, if there's anything interesting in them. Yeah, much past that, not really much, no. Cosmetic-y stuff. That renown 14 for the muck covered writings. Oh, that's the thing that increases your fishing skill. Yeah, very, very just cosmetic-y stuff, really. What would be good for concentration besides enchanting? I mean, the first few days, anything, because nobody will be able to do much of anything consistently at high quality in the first few days. Yeah, tool missives, probably, yeah. Tool missives on a scribe. Can the crafter minigame be done in a group? It can, I think, yeah. I think it's up to a 5-man activity. I've not tested it in that way. I've only got the one account that I use on the beta. But we'll probably try that out a little bit tomorrow if it's open and available to play with. So what would this entail? The blacksmithing accessory, alchemy accessory, jewel crafting accessory. Lots of accessories I'm seeing. Leatherworking accessory, skinning accessory. Is it all accessories? It is literally all accessories. Leatherworking doesn't make a single tool. But it's lots of stuff that could be crafted and distributed. And I don't have to push too far or too hard to get the job done. Easy 18 points here. What's the path past 60 in leatherworking look like? Armor kits, isn't it? Oh, it's okay, it's that one. It's the optional reagent. We've got to do the quest line. Where's it gone? This thing. You can get this recipe basically for free, but then it's 10 motes per. Fuck. Yeah, anything past 60 with leatherworking gets expensive real fast. You're looking at 10 motes per craft. Yeah, leatherworking is flipping. It's mote working, isn't it? Leatherworking is so heavy on the use of motes, it's actually disgusting. So I'm probably not going to be in too much of a rush to push this very far. Not going to be in too much of a rush at all. 40% of 200 is 80. So I could really do with getting my skill to 280 in order to use quality 1 mats. So there's 40 up here and there's 40 up here. That's very convenient, isn't it? We do max leatherworking. If we get the 100 plus 40 build in leatherworking, we can then look at producing the profession equipment, the green profession equipment, using quality 1 mats entirely. I think is that too easy? Is that too easy? Is that too easy to be something to focus on? It's only 40 knowledge points. It's within reach to do in early access. We could then start using that to transition this way. How many first-time crafts are we looking at with leatherworking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 30 easy ones. 30 easy first-time crafts. 30 plus the one-time treasures. Plus the 2 weekly treasures. Assuming we can pick those up. Plus 10 points from some renown somewhere. 68 points. Let's round it up to 70. Round it up to 70 for easy points. Because I'll grab a few other things. PvP gear or something. 70 knowledge points. What does that work out in Moxie? That's gonna be 20. So what do we say? Like 30 times first time crafts, which average out at about 10 each. That's 300 moxie from those. 24 times 5 is 120 plus the 300. Between 4 and 600 moxie. But that's enough for a couple of epic recipes if we wanted to. Or would I rather go... What's going to be... skinning, maybe. That's going to be a popular one. Deafness and perception. It's the one that's got perception on it. That will be a popular one. That might not be a bad recipe to pick up. There'll be a few orders on that knocking about. That's 150 moxie. What's the difficulty on this? 400. So we'd be missing 100. We got 80 on the go up here. So the other 20 points in here. So we'd go 30, 60. Then there's a few bonus knowledge points lying around somewhere. Which would make sense to probably then unlock the Blood Knight armor kit. That's an alternative way to level. Though we're not going to be very good at crafting them. I'm doing a lot of thinking out loud here. It hasn't left me any points to put anything over here. Even though 60 points over here is quite important. Maybe there'd be next week's points. Resourcefulness refunds 10% more mats. Oh shit, it's got this bonus. How much is it? 10, 20, 35, 50% more mats. So 4.45 refund rate. By the time you put 30 points in that, that's actually big. That's big. The abundance thing is probably one of those things, much like early season delves. It's probably where tanks have, because DPS obviously takes time to ramp up, whereas tanks have the advantage of that they just don't die, so you can pull more and AOE more, and tanks end up tanks end up competing with DPS in terms of damage at the beginning, just by proxy of not dying. So yeah, it being Guardian, Druid, Prop Paladin, something like that would probably make the job pretty easy. Do you think it's good to go blacksmithing and sell quality 5 tools for herbing and mining on day one? Probably. Yeah, can't see why not. I can't see there being a scenario where there won't be herbalists and miners that want those. Okay. I might have to do that then. I'm kind of forced on my leatherworker to go a work ordery kind of route, which is why I'm considering the profession equipment. Not because I really want to, but because I would rather do something more fun on my Jewel Crafter. And that more fun thing will probably be prospecting. But I can level my leatherworker all the same. craft a bit of green profession gear. Maybe spend some moxie getting a few of the higher tier recipes for myself, my alts, and the guild. But then probably ultimately not put a huge amount of effort into leatherworking. It will just be a supplementary profession for me, I think, until later on in Season 1. At least until my jewel crafter's min-maxed anyway. Is there any reason to not get blue tools ASAP? I mean, price. I mean, it depends. You know, there's two things about getting the blue tools. You need somebody to craft them for starters, which might not necessarily be something that's just, you know, your mileage may vary with that one. If you play on a really big server, there's probably, you know, 10 people will be able to craft it for you. If not, you might struggle. You might have to. This is the thing. I don't think the fact that blue profession tools and accessories are easier to get because there's no moxie on them. I don't think that really makes a huge difference because you also kind of got to remember back to the War Within. Sure, there was artisan security on them in the War Within, but people were shuffling their ass off, right? People were still getting a full set of blue tools in day one back in the War Within, even with artisan security on them. So the green tools sold well then. there's still the same thing that you got to find somebody to actually craft the thing for you. You know, herbalists are going to have to hope that there are leather workers out there who have bought the rare recipes with their moxie, of which a leather worker might only be able to buy 2, maybe 3 recipes in the first week. So, you know, of the list of recipes that a leather worker has to choose from, if you can only get 2 or 3 in the first week, you know, I don't know. I'm sure lots of people will put 2 and 2 together and decide that something like a herbalist backpack is probably a smart play. But then what happens when everybody picks the herbalist backpack and everybody picks, I don't know, the skinning hat, the herbalist backpack, and the leatherworking thing for themselves? What happens to all the jewel crafters, to all of the... Oh, there's 2... Oh, yeah, we do 2 skinning accessories, don't we? Yeah. I don't know. If everybody does the same thing, nothing works. Everybody's got to spread out a little bit. Or you can start hoping people are running multiple leather workers to cover all angles. I'm not that serious about work orders to do that. I'm going to make 1 prospector, 1 flask crafter. They're going to be 2 very competitive markets. I wouldn't recommend doing that on just 1 account. They're both things that you need to leave your character just standing crafting for hours. Which, if you have both of those jewel crafters on the same account, you're going to have to choose which one you do. Which basically means one of them, the cost of one of them might go to waste. You got to be careful with that. Long term, it's a really good idea because it means you can cover all angles, right? You can produce your materials and then you can produce your what they call the alchemy vials. But you got to be slightly careful if you have those characters on the same account that you can only be logged into one character doing something at a time. And don't forget, you are also going to want to play the game on that account, probably, if it's your main account. Don't put too many processing things on one single account. Now, not everybody runs around with 3, 4, 5 accounts, I understand, but you should sort of take that into consideration. Any idea how much gold it will cost to get professions to skill 50? I've no idea. No idea. We got no, you know, materials will cost as much as people can charge for them. I think if you are looking to get your professions to skill 50 within early access, there's a good chance that it will cost you, you know, between 50 and 250,000 gold to do it. I did some napkin maths for enchanting, assuming that dust ends up being like, assuming dust comes down to about like 25 gold a dust. I think it still worked out at like 30,000 gold estimate to just level enchanting up to about 50. Oh yeah, I should clarify. Sorry. Yeah, I think, did I say up to? Okay, it's going to cost you a bunch if you want to level it fully. To skill 50, the first 50 levels are usually pretty cheap. About 20% of the cost is the first 50 levels, and then about 80% of the cost is the last bit. Concentration alts only need to do the small bit, but it's still going to cost 30,000 gold to just get each character set up. So you gotta hope that the value of concentration covers that cost quite quickly. You don't want 4 weeks before it pays back. It needs to start paying itself back like almost instantly. Remember doing that, then selling the weapon enchants for 100k? I mean, if you can sell enchants for 100k this time round, then fair play, but that probably won't last for very long. 2 mil gold in the War Within week 1 to level the concentration alts on 30 characters. Yeah, I'd be very, very careful spending that kind of gold to level concentration alts this time. Very, very careful. Because you might find yourself in a position where you spend all that time, all that gold, and then the concentration markets completely crumble underneath their own weight. Because the gameplay mechanics aren't there for concentration this time. It will be good for a few weeks, but it isn't going to last like it did in the War Within. Are we skipping ingenuity on concentration alts now? I'm recommending people skip, yeah. Go resourcefulness if you're doing enchanting, because it's a guaranteed saving every proc. And you're not going to be, you're not going to be putting rare tools, I don't think, on your concentration alts. Not to begin with, because once again, it will be too expensive. $25 gold per dust is somewhat low, I think. At least first month or so. Shall I show you some, you can take 1 herb, or should we say 10 herbs? 10 herbs. That says 10 herbs, by the way. 10 herbs. You mill those 10 herbs. You get 15 pigments. That gives you 3 evercores via engineering. Those 3 evercores give you 3 rares, which gives you 3 crystals when you disenchant them. Or shards, sorry. Which breaks down to 10 dust. This is all excluding any resourcefulness. which basically means 1 dust is not far off the price of 1 herb. And you've got resourcefulness procs in this process. There's resourcefulness here. You got a level of resourcefulness here. You got a level of resourcefulness here. That creates the rares. There's technically resourcefulness here as well, although it's very low. The disenchanting, yeah, more resourcefulness when you take the rares and you DE them. And then shattering is also subject to resourcefulness. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps of resourcefulness in that whole process. Which means if you start having a few characters, you get a few characters up to speed to do this efficiently, you'll actually end up with 1 dust being worth less than 1 single normal quality herb. So I really don't think 25 gold is overly expensive. I think you get more like 10 evercores from 15 pigments. 15 pigments is 3 crafts. 2.5. Yeah, you're actually right. Yeah. Oh god, yeah, you're actually right. Yeah, the math's wrong. The maths is wrong there. 15 pigments is not 3 evercores, is it? It's 3 evercores if you're not specced into it properly. It's actually, yeah, it is more like 10 evercores, which is 10 rares, which is then 10 shards to disenchant, which is 30 dust. Yeah. Yeah. So 1 piece of dust is 1/3 of the price of a single normal quality herb. So for a single dust to be 25 gold a piece, you'd have to have a normal herb being 75 gold. Not happening. There's no chance normal quality Tranquility Bloom is going to be 75 gold a piece. These are evercores. These come from recycling in engineering. And you've got to remember that the disenchanting section of this can produce high quality. You're going to produce high quality things as well. So actually, people will do this process in order to generate high quality shards and high quality dust. They'll sell the high quality shards and they'll sell the high quality dust at a premium all the same, which will mean that they'll be willing to sell the normal quality dust even fucking cheaper. So it's going to be worth even less than 1/3 of a herb, because the normal quality dust will be seen as a byproduct. They'll be making the profit on the high quality stuff that they produce. This is one of the main sort of shuffles. Can low quality be shattered into high quality? No. But the process of disenchanting the rares can produce high quality shards in the first place. Those high quality shards can then be shattered and will produce high quality dust. Or normal quality dust. But the point still stands, is that this will be the process in order to generate high quality enchanting materials. The cost will probably be covered from those high quality, basically meaning that the normal quality dust and the normal quality shards will be sold for as much as they can be sold for. But yeah, this is how you can sort of guesstimate what the price of things are going to be relative to other things. And this basically means that whatever the cost of one normal Tranquility Bloom is, let's say one normal Tranquility Bloom is 15 gold, that means that a normal quality dust could easily be as low as 5 gold. Now, of course, that doesn't provide any profit in this system with those numbers, but the fact that there's like 5 points of resourcefulness in here as well, it's a definite recipe to make enchanting materials incredibly cheap. But it will take a while for that to get spun up. So this is my point. My point of all of that really was, don't go spending 25,000 gold setting up a concentration ult on day 1, because in a matter of days people will have that whole loop set up, and it will just be running 24 hours a day, and that will push the price of normal dust like down really, really hard, really, really fast. It's a bit of a system to set up, but it will happen. Trust me. Is it an instruction how to summon a demon? Kinda. Kinda. Alright. I think I roughly know what I'm doing on my Jewel Crafter and my Leatherworker, at least. I think. There's part of me that doesn't want to overthink this too much, because if I set myself a plan, I just feel as if I'm going to extract all of the fun out of early access if I try and plan things too heavily. I've said for weeks I just want to chill throughout most of early access and just tinker about and see what goes on. About the hours of mass crafting, is it easy to sell the products of that, or does it require cancel scanning? Depends how competitive your market is. Very rarely with mass crafting is it that sensible to spend too much time cancel scanning, because you've probably not got fantastic margins on most mass craft stuff anyway. Even at the beginning of the expansion, you might only be making like 10%, 15% profit on mass crafting something. So if you then go and spend another hour trying to cancel scan it all, not only are you losing huge amounts of deposit fees by cancelling stuff and putting it back on the auction house again all the time, but you're also spending another hour doing it, which cuts into your sort of overall profit even more. There is so many better ways to do things than cancel scanning, because you end up, cancel scanning just ends up with people fighting against themselves for no reason. They're fighting over nothing, basically. If you've got 2 people in a cancel scan war, the best way for that to resolve itself is for one person to just stop doing it. Some people find it fun though, believe it or not. So, you know. Enchants cost nothing to put up. No, but they do cost time to deal with. That's what you got to remember. They take time. I don't really think I want to try and optimize or min-max all of my crafters any more than this, to be honest. I think I'm more inclined to just play early access when it turns up. Get a few characters leveled. Craft a few bits and pieces here and there. Make sure I use my concentration on something, but maybe don't take it all that seriously. I can almost say for certain one of the days of early access I'm probably just going to spend it setting up TSM. As ridiculous as that sounds to some of you, That's probably a very useful use of my time during early access. Do we get to 90 with the campaign, or do we end up at 85.5 again? No idea. I'm gonna be I'm doing it on my druid. So I'm gonna be leveling Dairy Leah first. So I'll be doing the campaign whilst I'm also herbing and mining. So I'll be gaining lots of bonus XP from the herbing and mining as well. So I reckon I'll probably hit 90 before I finish the campaign. Or at least I hope to. It means I need to clear this character's bags out. Do you think you'll stream TSM setup so we can also learn? Oh, I'm probably going to be streaming every day from here on out, really. I'm not going too far out of my way to try and hide what it is I'm doing or worrying about playing things on or off stream. If I'm sat here and I'm playing, there's a good chance I'll be streaming. So if you want to hang out, the fact that all of these buttons are on top of each other, I don't like. Where is it? How do you change the advanced cooldown settings? There we go. Turn all of this off. That'll do. I don't need half of this on here either. Solar beam's handy to know. I don't need that on the bar. Dash is useful. Never bother with that. Rebirth, I guess, is handy to know. But do I care? Nah. Typhoon, I don't care. That'll do. That'll do. Wait, what? Right, let's get these bags sorted.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Did you see that the War Within tool enchants work on the Midnight White Profession tools? Yeah. Yeah, there's always weird stuff like that that happens. There's always odd stuff like that that happens. Right, what have we got in here? Do we need any of this? In fact, should we just vendor all of this? I think we mostly just vendor all of this, don't we? Wait, where's me? What is me goblin toolbox bar up there? That's better. Put you down there. Get you in the right place. Oh, no, I need the vendor one.
Greetings, sir, and
Right, what are you? Random ass potions, go away. Dark Moon, Firewater. Whoa, what the hell happened to this stuff? Why is this 500 gold all of a sudden? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Vial of True Sights, I'm probably not going to need those anytime soon, but, you know, we'll keep them knocking about. Inky Black Potions, they're kind of useful. What is Ice Mother's Milk? Gain garrison resources. Go away. Random ass seeds, random ass seeds, random ass seeds. Living seeds, go away. Delete. 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 What's this? Just vendor those. Vendor those. Vendor that. Mats. I should sell the mats properly, shouldn't I? Should sell the materials properly. Yo, Longboy Party. OG Longboy Party. Go on. Now you got me considering getting the Midnight on the second account, putting my Millet and Prospect on there. Might just wait and see. Eat the character transfer cost if it's a bottleneck. I mean, if it's profitable, recuperating a character transfer cost shouldn't be too problematic. Let's slam the lumber in the warbank. What the f is all this cloth doing in my warbank? Where's that come from? Oh, Jesus. That needs to move. Put it politely.
My thanks for your patronage.
Right, what we got here? Fell Blossoms. Delete. Focused Life Anima. Delete. Put treasures on the map. Sure, you do you. Scythe of a Loon. Random ass ring. Giant. Anybody know what a giant crab leg does? Delete. One day I'll regret doing all of this, but it's never happened yet. Do the weekly Undermine, Hallowfall, and other quests. Deliver them instantly when Midnight's enabled. It's a massive boost of XP. Oh, I don't care. It's good advice for others, but I couldn't care less. I'm not in a rush. Dream Seeds, go away. Yeah, I'm not zerging my way to max level as fast as possible. Like I said, I'm doing it on my druid so I can pick up some herbs and ore at the same time. I'm not really in any way trying to be too efficient. It helps the giant crabs move. What, the giant crab leg? Yeah. Oh, Flight Master's Whistle. I hate deleting these. Hate deleting my Flight Master's Whistle. I can't do it. Can't do it. Huh. 20 Laystone ore and 20 Fell Slate. Yoink. Thanks. Isn't it a toy these days? Oh, it is. Delete.
calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Right, there we go. Bags are sorted. Bags are ready. Gold normalized. Gear geared. Here's a question. What spec do I level in? What do we level in? We just do Boomy? Boomy all the way? Kitty cat? More get out of here fast. Guardian seems OP. Tank, just pull everything. Always levelless Guardian. Resto? You funny. Bear? They haven't nerfed it. It's big damage. Boomy's too gear dependent and too slow in the event that you pull too many mobs. Guardian for sure. We can go. We can do some Guardian. I mean, on the basis of that, I don't really know how to play a druid most of the time anyway. Boomy probably is good for when we get to 90 and get a bit of gear, because then you just nuke things. Hop Convoke and stuff just dies, right? Is that still the play? But for leveling, you might be right. A bit of herbing, bit of mining, bit of Guardian Druid. Don't get stunned. Might not be a bad plan of action. Should we put some buttons on the bar? Have we got some buttons in a rough order? Moonfire, Mangle, Maul, Swipe. Maul on there twice. Rejuve on Q. What's me? Okay, all my buttons are screwed up here. Invoke on 5. Barely safely use the 1-button rotation. Oh, I absolutely will, especially while I'm streaming. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when I'm chatting to you guys, I just scroll the wheel and stuff around me dies. It's fine. It's just buttons like Convoke. I want to know where they are. We'll get rid of Wild Charge off that. When's early access? For me, it's 1 AM. So it's 11 hours. Your Battle.net launcher has the countdown thingy on it. 11 hours. Druid of the Claw are masters of their mighty animal forms. When they transform into cats or bears, they become ferocious combatants and protectors of the wild. Or we go Loons chosen, dedicating themselves to the moon goddess and are granted her connection with the moon and stars. Any suggestion? Loons? Am I streaming for the whole day? No, I'm actually not going to be streaming for too much longer. I'm going to use most of the rest of the day to sleep, get some chores done, make sure the dogs are happy. I'm going to get some adulting out the way later today. This is just the character that I'm going to level first, though, so I'm trying to get it up to speed. Should we just follow what Zygor says? Free automatic Moonfire from Galactic Guardian. Generates 5 rage, sure. Increases the damage of Lunar Beam by 30 and Fury of a Loon. Moonfire does more. Bear form and Moonkin form reduce all arcane damage taken. Just reduce damage, sure. Thrash has a 50% chance to launch a Star Surge at a victim. Do it. Enemies affected by Moonfire are slowed. I kind of want them to be up my ass, really, so I can swipe them. Wild Charge in bear form, 3 seconds shorter cooldown. Copy here. We're just going to yoink this. Adulting doesn't give you gold. You know, you're right. Guardian Druid, Loons Chosen, Delves, copy Delve build. Why no leveling build? Why no leveling build? I want a one button build. I don't want none of these fancy raid builds and shit. I want a one button macro build. What's the best build that allows me to scroll a mouse wheel and win? Go AoE, that's all you need. Guardian only has 5 buttons anyway. Yeah, but you remember who you're talking to here. You're talking to somebody that doesn't like druids. I'm leveling druid for one reason only. It's my herbalist and miner. Got a nice name on Draenor. You want it? Its name is Bear for your druid. Oh, wow. You should give that to Bear. That is a very good name. You should give that to... I should actually give that to Bear. I like my hunt. I like my druid's name. I like my druid's name. But that is a very good name to have on druid. Wowhead should add the one button talent specs. I think they should. They'd probably be some of the most popular specs. Stop focusing on the 1%, Wowhead. Come on. Sort your shit out. Yeah, I know. Bear lives on Argent Dawn, doesn't she? I play Druid of the Claw since you can get more peak damage if you play it correctly. Illunes is strong and face roll. I am all about scrolling a one button macro. This is my bear though. Look at that level of cuteness. Look at that level of cuteness. I have a feeling since we can't do that much in early access before the season starts, people will go back to their houses and decorate them even more. Oh, for sure. I mean, I am going to still need to keep up with all of my auctions, but part of my plan with my crafting professions is to look at, or part of my early access and probably first week launch plans is to craft and sell a bunch of stuff all over the place. There's one advantage that I have that not a lot of people have, and not a lot of people have quick and easy access to, and it's that I've got a character ready and waiting who is already buying and selling on every single realm in the EU. Like, there's quite a lot of setup and sort of like, you know, sort of experience that's been gained from doing that. That, I think, is an advantage I have that not everybody else has. Everybody can fly around and pick up herbs and ore. So I've tried to. I've been sort of looking at aspects that will work in that sort of regard. You know, maybe a bit of flipping recipes, definitely buying and selling decor on as many realms as we can, continue to do so. It's why I want my main account. I'm trying not to fill my main account with characters and profession specs that are like processing heavy. Even going prospecting on my jewel crafter, I'm very 50-50 about, because I'd much rather have prospecting on a character on my second, third, or fourth account, for example, so that they can just be doing that in the background and my main characters can be off playing, doing stuff. But this is why I haven't really got a solid plan of exactly what I'm doing. Are decor items soul-bound and can only be sold via work orders, or can they be on the auction house? Yeah, crafted decor goes on the auction house. Yeah. Crafted decor on the auction house. Has anybody got a better suggestion for trinkets, by the way? I've only got these 2 level 99 PvP trinkets. It probably doesn't matter, but it's still a slight annoyance all the same. Right, what are these quests, and do I need them? Do we need this quest? No, abandon. Do we need this quest? No, abandon. Something on the horizon. No, you're right. Undercoin trinkets. In the delves, yeah. Or is there anything here? How many undercoins do I have? Oh, I got nearly 8,000 undercoins. Unlocked by progressing the Season 3 Delver's Journey. Oh dear, okay. Maybe not then. Oh, did Matthias play Season 3? No. Okay, well, let's scratch that idea then. Scratch that idea. Is there even any trinkets in here anyway? I don't know. What item level weapon do I have? Oh, this dude's just kitted out in the pre-patch event stuff. 1 of 8 champion gear, 121 gear. So any prerequisites for starting the new expansion on launch, like the Twilight Highlands quests? I don't think so. I think the new quest will pop up. Where does the new quest pop up, actually? It's going to be Orgrimmar, right? That's a good question. I don't actually know. Do you think it would be better to sell cloth herbs or in early access, or wait for launch and then sell them? If you're working, get paid is always my advice. If you've picked up herbs or if you're doing any sort of farming, get paid. Just sell it. Don't stress about if it could be worth more in the future. You know, the better solution to that is not to stress about it. And if it is worth more in the future, at least you know how to farm it. If you go to work, get paid. Wowhead guides seem to be having biscuit and consumes ready for midnight. Be worth a quick overall check. Are they keeping up to speed with it, are they? Midnight. They've not got class guides on here somewhere. Oh, hello. Hello, Choo Choo. Hello, Choo Choo. How did that randomly start? Who started that somehow? Purple. Kicked off a hype train. Go on. All the war within stuff. Enchants and consumables. Okay. There is some info out there already about all the class guides of what people are going to want. Hunter gems, hunter enchants, weapon. What does it say about crafted gear? Is there a crafting gear bit? Wow, the world tender set is actually on the list. Damn. Damn. Maybe I'll craft that. Let me grab a drink, hang on. World tenders bark clasp from Leatherworking. And the root slippers being recommended. That's kind of crazy. I never expect that set to be those mini sets to be promoted in any way, shape, or form. Trinkets and stuff. Best crafted gear. Your embellishment crafts are extremely straightforward. You'll craft the strongest embellishment which is a 2-set bonus on the 2 slots that do not interfere with your sets, boot and belt. Strictly speaking, if you want to be slightly stronger for the 2 weeks before you have 2 crafts available, it's slightly better to start with a belt with an Arcano Weave lining, but it's a very short period of time. Damn. Well, rip crafted embellishments then. That's fun. Oh, I'm on the wrong character. Okay, check a few other classes. Can't be bothered to go through all of these. This is the problem. Biscuit. Dark Moon Sigil? Fuck yeah, now. Is a possibly hard question. I'm planning on going into alchemy this expansion. Did blacksmithing the last one? Would you say, based on previous expansions, it's better to level alchemy fully on the day before official release or before reset? You've got ages to level alchemy. Alchemy's not going to pop off until the season opens, so you got a couple of weeks. It's genuinely no rush whatsoever. Do it cost effectively. Try and craft and sell a few things as you do it. Use your concentration to craft a few high quality things to cut down the cost of leveling. Just make sure it's ready before the season starts. Will your concentration enchanters use ingenuity or resourcefulness? Resourcefulness, yeah. Noticeable ones have been Arcano Weave Lining, Dark Moon Sigil Hunt, and Stabilizing Gemstone Bandolier. Well, tailors are going to have a good time. It's fun to see that the Dark Moon Sigils are playing a part. Don't know how you do it. It's an art. Always making every time you answer a question seem like the first time. It's a skill. Let's pick, I don't know. What are balanced druids doing? Dark Moon Sigil Hunt, Arcana Weave Linings. Let's pick a, I don't know. What are demon hunters doing? I don't know. Anybody? Far too many classes and specs in this game these days. Dark Moon Sigil Hunt. Surprisingly popular so far. All specs have early craft and weapon with the Dark Moon Sigil Hunt is recommended for 80% of the specs. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Knowledge on the strongest embellishment is in flux due to tuning and incomplete implementation. As of right now, the strongest options are Dark Moon Sigil Hunt, Lower Worshipper Band, Arcana Weave Lining, Root Warden's Regalia. Yeah, I've already seen Dark Moon Sigil Hunt pop up a lot. What does it do? Spells and abilities have a chance to grant 56 secondary stats for 15 seconds based on the creature type. See, this is the thing, right? This is why you just kind of you just gotta wait until all of these clever people do their clever things, because just reading what the embellishments are, I'm like, is that good? Is that not good? They've made this game so much so now that unless you sim shit, you just don't know. What's Rhett doing? Dawn Thread Linings on Everforged, Van Braces, and Great Belt. Dawn thread lining, elemental focus lens, sigil with banding. Will people do early crafts or the best crafts? I'm leaning towards the overall best crafts. Yeah, you got early season and late season recommendations on some of these. I mean, when people look, you know, the thing is, when people look for a BIS list, they're looking for the best, right? I've learned one thing over the years with this game. People either want the cheapest or they want the best. There's never any in the middle, really. And so when it comes to crafted gear, they basically just only ever want the best. Most people will craft weapon first for the biggest gain, then the embellishments. What are warlocks doing? I don't know. Pick a warlock spec. Wait, what? $200 stat. Oh, here's a question. Oh, but it doesn't show, does it? I was going to say, what what is it telling all the hunters to craft for a weapon? I want to see if I'm intrigued to see if engineers are literally dead on arrival. Not going to say. Oh well. Single most important thing to gain item levels on is the weapon. But then it goes on to tell you to upgrade your amulet and your braces. Sure. Didn't see anybody mentioning scopes. Wanted to know if they even know about them and even simmed it. Oh, is it that much? Is the absolute crickets about the scopes? What did it say for BM hunters? I wasn't paying attention when I looked earlier. Weapon. Doesn't really say. Well, that the fact that the Dark Moon sigils are popping up a few times is interesting. Well, the usual candidates are still standing relatively strong. Tailoring with their linings look to be pretty good, generally. Surprises me a lot to see that the two-piece set is being recommended for BM hunters. Makes me think if I actually put some time in to look at some of the others, you might spot them as well. Interesting. Played every season with multiple characters, never managed to get the threads rep cooking recipe to drop. I don't even know which one that is. Research and depth of the guide writers may vary a lot, but I guess it relatively matters because Wowhead has such a big influence. Yeah, I mean, I live by the theory these days that if Wowhead tells people to do it, that's what people will do. Whether it's, like, mathematically accurate or not. Because you've got to remember, most people, they look at this for starters and they're just like, no. Just no. You've got to be pretty serious about playing your class even to tinker with this sort of stuff half the time. Never mind figuring out what all your gearing and stuff is. I've thought for years that they've made endgame gearing 10 times more complicated than it needs to be. Part of me is real old school. I preferred the days where you kill a dragon and it drops a piece of loot. And if that piece of loot drops for your character and your class, then you get to roll on it. Gearing system we have now where all this flipping equal opportunity rubbish. Far too much like hard work figuring it out, which is why I don't bother most of the time. I'll stick to making gold. I'm good at that. I am Mr. Starter build. Oh yeah, absolutely. But this leads me to, you know, leads me to the understanding that humongous amounts of the player base, or anybody who even remotely cares, just looks up what their best options are. And so they turn into Wowhead. Maybe Icy Veins. You know, maybe their favourite content creator or YouTube video or anything, but I would imagine most of it all ends up being recommending almost the same sort of stuff anyway. Right, boys and girls. I think I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to keep the stream a bit shorter today because obviously it all pops off later today. I will not be streaming the actual early access launch. It doesn't go live until 1 a.m. for me, so I ain't breaking my sleep schedule to stay up for that. What I will try and do though is get some adulting out the way, get a nice early night in, and we'll probably try. I say try and start a little bit earlier tomorrow. I do have to sort the dogs and everything as well tomorrow morning, so, you know, I try to keep their schedule as unbroken as possible as well. But yeah, we'll be exploring midnight tomorrow. Oh my, it's finally here. It's finally here. Only a few hours left. Get your snacks ready. Get your leveling fingers ready. What time? I'll be starting my stream probably normal time tomorrow. It's 11 a.m. my time. I start my stream, whatever time I usually start for you. It probably won't be too much different. But we'll be taking Dairy Leah, I think, through first, having a poke around, doing some herbing, doing some mining, making some gold, having some fun. But yeah, boys and girls, it's nearly here. Final bit of shameless promo. If you haven't already, jump in the Discord. Have a read through the profession guides in the Discord. If you're a gold goblin of mine over on Patreon, big shout out to you. Thank you very much for the continued support. But secondly, make sure you have a read through the Goblin Guide to Midnight. Humongous amounts of detail in that. If you want to focus on any specific professions, definitely have a read through that. Yeah. There's a couple more YouTube videos going live, mostly sort of profession leveling stuff as well, because I wanted to make sure I get all of those out before the actual game goes live so people can utilize those as well. But yeah, it's nearly there, boys and girls. It's nearly there. It's almost time. If you're staying up late this evening, have fun. I hope the actual, I hope when it goes live it doesn't crash and burn. I hope the lag fiesta is not too bad. I wish you good luck with the login boss. But enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you in midnight. Peace.